Good morning, everyone. Pete and I are working on our next online course, which is about burnout. And I just completed a section that was about learning to say no. And so I thought that that might be a good topic to jump on and talk about really quickly today. So I do have a lot of clients that struggle and they really want to learn to say no. So these are my tips. First of all, don't start with the hardest person, right? The most difficult person, which that can be a spouse or it can be a boss. A lot of times, that's who the hard people would be. So start with someone that would be easier. Maybe somebody that you work with, maybe a distant cousin, a friend that isn't a super close friend, an acquaintance, that sort of thing, a church member, somebody that's going to ask you something. So start working on your boundaries with the least hard people, okay? Not the most difficult or hard people. Number two, when you cannot say no, start with just putting a spacer. So I have some spiritual people that say, you know what, let me pray on that and I'll get back to you. I have other people that say, let me check my calendar and I'll call you tomorrow. Or other people say, I'm not sure, I'm really in the middle of something. Can I get back to you and email you another day about that? Right? Or I need to think about that. I have a lot going on right now. Let me call you back. But delaying the response can also give you some time to think about, what am I going to say and how do I want to say it? And this, do I really want to do it? Because a lot of times we do a spontaneous yes. And let me tell you, it doesn't hurt your relation. It doesn't help your relationships. Because if you say yes too often, what happens is they don't even know that you wanted to say no. But yet later, you may be talking about them behind your back. You may have a secret resentfulness about them, right? Because you're just like, wow, I keep on asking me to do things. I keep on doing all this. I do all this for you. Well, did you say you would do it? And if you didn't want to do it and you didn't have time to do it, then you need to learn to say no, because you are, affecting that relationship and they might not even know that you're upset with them. Okay? So it is our responsibility to learn those lines, okay? So one, don't start with the most difficult person. Two, if you can't say no, then just put a time space in there to give you a chance to catch your breath and give a good answer. Number three is, if you can't say a full no, let's move forward and let's just say a partial yes, okay? So it might be, do you want to head up this committee? And you say, I cannot head up the committee, but I can be on the committee. Or I can't head up the committee, but I would be more than happy to be a consultant, right? If that person wants to call me with questions or whatever, right? It may be, I can't give you all of this money, but I can give you this much, right? Or I'm really short, so if I give you this amount of money, I'm going to expect you to do this for me, right? In return, right? Or I can't give you money, but I can buy you groceries, right? Or I can't, I can't babysit your kids for 4 hours, but what I could do is I could babysit them for 2 hours, but we need to kind of plan that ahead because I have really busy weekends, okay? And so whatever it is, right? I can't handle all of that project, but maybe I could do it if you could find someone to assist me and take off part of the load. So that is a partial agreement, okay? And then the last one is, when you do get to a no and it's hard for you, you need to turn around and walk away, right? Pretty quickly, because this is the thing. If I ask you something and you tell me no, every minute that I hold you in this conversation and I hear you starting to give me excuses and circumstances and reasons why that you can't do what I'm asking you to do, I know that you are feeling guilt or shame, you are uncomfortable, uneasy, maybe you got a little pit in your stomach or little butterflies or feeling jittery from the inside out, all signs that every minute that I hold you into this conversation, I don't really even have to say anything. I just have to stand here and watch you convince yourself that you need to change your no to a yes. And so you'll tell me all your excuses. Now I know that you feel guilty. I just have to stand here. And pretty soon you will just talk yourself out of the no. And you'll go, you know, but Nancy, I can do it. It's fine. No, it's fine. I can do it. I'll work it out. It's no problem. And then you'll probably leave, you know, feeling angry at me. I don't know, right? So you really do, if you have that and you get those butterflies or you feel this misplaced guilt when you're trying to say no to people, then practice it at home, talking out loud, practice it. And also say no, and then you turn around and you leave, okay? All right, so those are my quick tips I just thought I would share because it came up again in a burnout thing that I'm doing right now today. So number one is if you cannot say no, then you need to, one, start working on it, but start with an easier or easiest person. Don't start with the hardest person, the most difficult person in your life to say no to. Start with an easy one. Number two, if it's hard for you to say no, start putting a space of time. You know, I'm really busy. I'll get back to you tomorrow. Or, gosh, I can't even think of everything that's on my schedule right now. Can I call you later? Right? Let me talk to my husband, my children, my boss, whatever about that, and I'll email you later. Okay? You want to put a space in it, right? Number three, if you can't say no, then just say a partial no, right? Again, I can't be the head of the committee, but I'm available for questions since I did it last year. If the person wants to call me, that would be perfectly fine. And the fourth one is if you have a hard time saying no, practice first. And then when you do say your no, you don't need to have an explanation and a reason. You say no, you turn around, and you quickly get out of that conversation before you will turn your no to a yes. I hope that helps you, and I hope that's something that you can work on, because every time you say no, you say yes to something else in your life. You have the right to create space in your life for the things that you love. Life is short, so remember, people who are most respected are people that know how to say no.